Hiya, welcome back to the channel. So the plan today is, well, we're in the BMW, and over a year ago, about 18 months ago, I had to do some welding on it because it rusted. And since then, I've been meaning to give it a bit of a treatment to help slow it down from rusting. So that's what this video is. But first, it could do with being clean, because obviously the Waxoil shit, whatever I'm going to put on, will stick on better when it's clean. So I'm going to go for that £4.50 job there, which, as you can see, includes a chassis wash. So if we get a chassis wash, then it'd be better than not cleaning it first. So let's do that first.
Time to wash the car. Time to wash the car.
So now, as you can see, we are lovely and clean. So I need to let the shitter dry off. So I'll park it up for a bit. And now it's been left to dry out for, well, we're not driven it for about 3 weeks, so about that long. We can do some rust protection. It's going to be pretty much the same shit as I did to the Citroen, apart from I'm going to try and avoid driving it off the end of the ramps and getting the ramp stuck underneath the sill. So I'm going to start with the cavity wax, and I'm going to try and get this in as many places as I can, really. So I'll start by going to the favourite place on E46s, and that's here, these arches. And if we feel up underneath, as you can see, the car wash has cleaned all that dirt off perfectly. But if we feel up underneath here, there are some rubber sort of bungs somewhere. I'm sure there's some rubber bungs somewhere because I've had them out before. Yeah, there's one. Right, so in line with that, I can just about get my hand up to touch it. There's a rubber bung, which I can just about pull out. And this would be significantly easier if I'd have brought a jack with me, but I haven't, so I can't lift the car up. But I managed to get one out, and it is just one of them shitters, which is around here. Now I only need to take one out of it because this tube should be long enough to reach both directions. So let's do that. Obviously I've given that a good shake up, and that's how it comes out. So I need to feed that into this hole nice and gently until it stops, really. And I can hear it somewhere down there hitting stuff, so it must be in far enough. So just spray and pull, and then do the same in the other direction. Before obviously replacing the bung back in the hole. Very important, because if you don't put the bung back in the hole, then the water from the wheel will just end up spraying and filling the cavity up with fucking rain and shit. So now I've done the rear arches, which is arguably the worst place for rust on these fucking cars. I need to get to the sill next, and I need to find a way in to the sill. And if we look underneath, then we can see that we have got some of these little push clips that hold the plastic trim on. So I'm going to pull one of them shitters out. Yes. And then I'm just going to do the same thing in both directions. Yes. Try again. And it's getting snagged a little bit, but it works. So that one can go back in, and then it could go back in. A bit hard to push in. I'll do that in a minute. So when that's back in, I'm going to have to take another one out around here somewhere. But I'm not going to film that. It's just the same thing again. So yeah, I've done the same thing there and there. So now hopefully I've got wax in the full length of the sill by taking 3 of them plastic rivets out. So I need to do the other side. I mean, you could do this by taking the jacking points. They come off as well, as I showed in the video when I welded the shitter up. So anyway, I need to do the other side and then move on to the next phase. So now the driver's side has had the same treatment. As you can see, put enough until it starts coming out. I mean, the more the merrier with this stuff. I do wish I'd have had 2 tins of it, really. but I haven't, so I'll just have to make do with that. So next, I'm going to go to the doors. And if you look underneath, we have got a rubber bung, which we can remove in the same way as we did on the back of the wheel arch. I say we can, it's not really coming out. And then just do the same shit. And this job is mainly about inserting your nozzle into holes and spraying into them. Not forgetting to replace this bung. And since I did the makeshift vapour barrier in this car, which was when I used the Asda bag, you know, really professionally, better put that shitter in properly. Which didn't really make sense because I was getting water sat there. I haven't had any water sat there since. Now the vapour barrier leaking, as pointed out and as I tried to explain, you would expect it to go inside the car. But I think on this occasion, it was sort of trapping between the door panel and the seal or something. I don't know. But whenever you open the door, it just used to piss water out everywhere, which it stopped doing now. So that does seem to have fixed that. Anyway, let's move on to the other doors, which is pretty much exactly the same procedure for each one. Apart from the rear doors, the bung is in the middle, so better off going both ways a little bit. And make sure your windows aren't open when you're doing this, because then you'll get wax all over your windows, as they'll be inside the door. And now, just as I've done the same for the other side, yes, you can see it all running out everywhere and making a mess. I've pretty much run out. So, yeah, it would have been better if I had 2 tins and I would have spunked loads in then, but I have got everywhere I wanted to get. So now, let's move on to the other shit, which involves getting underneath as much as I can. But this car's too fucking low, and it doesn't even drive onto them from the front because it hits the bumper without putting blocks there. So I'm just going to get where I can as it is, because it's mainly the back that's the problem on this anyway. But no, I'm going to reach my arm under and get where I can, because this is just a case of bladdering it on everything. This is the same thing as what I did with the C1, apart from I'm using a different product. I used ACF 50 on the C1, and this I'm using this, and there's no real reason for it. I just wanted to try it, and it's got good reviews. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and put it on. Right, and as with the same as with the ACF 50, it does work better if you warm it up first. You know, just put some warm water on it. But as you can see, I'm just trying to bladder everywhere that I can with it, as good as I can. As you can see, just covering everything really, and sort of trying to pay close attention to any bits that are already rusting, and brake pipes and stuff like that. Now I know this area on my car isn't the best, so pay close attention to that, and the same on the other side. And I'm just going to keep on spraying it on everything that I can reach until I run out of the shit really. Including the infamous rear arches. Get around the back of them. Now I do say everywhere, but really the only places where you don't want to get it, same as what I said with the C1, with the stuff I use on that, is friction surfaces. So we don't really want it on the brakes. Even though we don't want the brakes to rust, we don't really want it on the brakes, we don't really want it on the tyres. You know, anything that needs to grip really. I've also sprayed it all the way along the inside of the sills as much as possible, all under there, everywhere I can reach. What I will say about this stuff is it doesn't smell as nice as the ACF 50. So when something doesn't smell nice or doesn't taste nice or hurts like medicine, usually means it works better. So maybe this is even better than ACF 50. Let's do it other side. Like so, and obviously paying close attention to brake and fuel lines as you go. And now I've pretty much coated everything I can get at, but I'm just going to keep on spraying it until I run out. When you get to the front on these cars, you can't really get at nothing because everything's covered in plastic. So I'm just going to keep on spraying this all over everything and just get the bits I've missed where I can get to. Yes. So as you can see, I've got most of it coated underneath. So like I said, I'm just going to keep on spraying this, as I've said, until it runs out and use it up. because you can't put too much of this on. And that is pretty much done. But I'm impressed with how far this has gone. And as I said, you finish when you run out. So now like I said, I've coated everything up to where it's covered in plastic at the front end. And it's actually coat's really thick. I'm pretty impressed with it. It looks like it should work really well, actually. I mean, obviously it's no replacement or no substitute for a proper, like a dinner troll treatment that garages do, where they take everything off and, you know, proper thick stuff that, well, that's really good shit, that. It's not a substitute for that, but it is, well, at least in my opinion, vastly superior than doing nothing. Especially when your car's already starting to rust and you've got paint that's flaking off and shit like that. So anyway, I think that's pretty much it for this one. That's, I mean, I'll probably need doing once a year as well. It's not something that's going to last forever. You know, probably have to do it every winter. So yeah, that's it anyway. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the usual kind of shit. Tell me what I've done wrong. You know, there's usually someone who does that. And see you next time.